What do you think Chris Paul's thinking right now? What are you hearing about that, Kendrick?
It's unfortunate, and I don't get it. He's vaccinated.
Right.
I don't understand everything that's going on. I don't know the process. I don't know, if you're vaccinated, how long you have to stay in protocol. The good thing about it for the Suns is that they handled their business early, right? So, I mean, it buys Chris Paul a few days. And he needs the rest anyway, dealing with the injuries in his shoulder, but not being able to be around his teammates, not being able to be in that film room and be that leader and study in that film room is going to kind of hurt the Suns a little bit, because you have to understand, as remarkable as Chris Paul has been on the court, his leadership is unmatched and is invaluable as far as his leadership, as far as him, you read those stories about how all the guys go to his house to have dinner and watch the games together, and that camaraderie. And at this moment in time, when you're headed into the Western Conference Finals and you're about to possibly face a powerhouse like the Utah Jazz or the Los Angeles Clippers, you need your leader. So hopefully, the Clippers push this to 7 games and it could spare Chris Paul a little bit more time, but it's going to hurt the Suns a little bit. I don't think dramatically. I think they're locked in, but I think overall, you just hate to hear this news because the Suns were vibing so well, and CP3 was on.
I mean, let's be honest, Kendrick. I mean, if as you just, and I think rightfully so, stuck a fork in the Clippers because Kawhi's out for the rest of this series, and then perhaps for a long time after that with an ACL injury, as it's being rumored and reported right now, that we're going to see the Western Conference Finals start sooner rather than later. And if that costs even Chris Paul 1 game, certainly in Utah, that will hobble the Suns' opportunity to gain home court advantage for themselves now that fans are all back in there. But let's place that aside even for a moment. And I want to pull on that string you just laid out there about Chris not being there in a film room and not there physically with the players and his teammates as they are going through the paces to get ready. What does that look like, a film room in the NBA with somebody like Chris Paul sitting in it? What does that look like?
You just adding another coach, right? So when a film, people don't understand, and this is another conversation that we can have on another time. But when I made the comparison and I said that, people think that it's easy to win an NBA championship, it's not. And I made a comparison for us with football, and football players were telling me how much film room, how much studying they have to do, the playbooks, the film room. Well, when you're in the playoffs, guess what? You having 2-hour film sessions. So as Coach Monty is sitting there talking, and Coach Monty is going through things and saying, hey, we need to do this, you may have a veteran like Chris Paul, because I've done it at times. I may say, well, hey, Coach Monty, you may have Chris Paul say, hey, Coach Monty, I don't know. I don't think we should be in the drop coverage defensively. And now you have an ongoing situation where you have a conversation within the locker room, and now it's like, okay, now Coach Monty is feeling, or Chris Paul may say, hey, I don't think Devin Booker should be guarding Joe Ingles. I think he should be guarding Bogdanovich. And then they have a discussion. This is the things that happen in the film room when you have a leader like Chris Paul that's on the floor. Or Coach Monty may say, well, what we're going to do offensively is I want to do X, Y, Z. Well, CP3 may say, Coach, well, look, let's do this, but make sure let's tweak this so that we could get Devin Booker this flare on the weak side. Like, all this happens during the course of a film room, especially when you're a leader, the voice of the team is in there. You have back and forth, but it's positive energy because so they can attack that series or that game like they need to.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.